I need to do jazz hands to that song. Hey everybody, good morning. Pardon my luck today. We are taking my son in for a procedure today, so I am actually going to be off today as we go through that. But happy Wednesday. We are here on the third day of the first day of the week in the new year that we're actually, I think, all full-time working. But before I get into shift, I'd love for you to unmute yourself. If anybody got any ahas from yesterday, either the consumer panel, the producer panel, where our focuses are, the 5 keys of the future for next year. I'd love for you to unmute yourself and tell me one takeaway or one thing that you plan to do to implement for this year after everything you heard yesterday. I'm going to be quiet so somebody has time to unmute themselves or find the unmute button.
Sarah, this is Derek, and one of the biggest thing that I got out of it yesterday was the military touches. I'm previous military. I'm a Navy veteran as well, and I thought that I put that on my list, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm going to absolutely take advantage of this year.
Niche, and I think Erica was an incredible representation of that. Linda, correct me if I'm wrong. I think she said she did 15 deals. Is that right?
Yeah.
15?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's awesome. 15 families served. I know she's over 5 million producer her first year in real estate, which is incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Who else? Any other takeaways? Samantha, you unmuted. That means you want to talk to me, I think.
I enjoyed the consumer panel. It was just really neat to hear about the things that they wanted. And just to hear like the relocation guys, the resources. I think that that really opened my eyes that we need to be a full scale service provider, right? It doesn't just stop with the start and sale and purchase of the house. So I think that that was eye opening. Some of the things you said, like the school tours and all that. So I enjoyed just hearing their point of view about what was important to them.
I love what you just said. Full scale service provider. That's awesome, Sam. And get with your local chambers to build out a reload packet. And with our friendly chat GPT that we've been doing, you can put the prompts in that we've been going over the past few weeks and build one out for you, right? Yes, we do have it recorded. We can get that out to those that didn't get a chance to hear it. Who else? Anybody else? One more before I go into some numbers.
Hey, Sarah.
Yes.
Really loved what Scott Toombs said yesterday. He said the habits that we have now are what got us here today. So if you're not happy where you're at now, you just need to change your habits.
That was a great one. He dropped some really good one-liners. Anybody know what he said about growth? Anybody remember that? If you were happy with go ahead, Sam. I'd love Sam. Go ahead, share.
Well, I was gonna say I liked where he said the mindset plus action equals outcomes. Like he really drove home about if you're not thinking the right way, having a habitual mindset and all those kind of things. So he drove home about you gotta change your thought process before you change what's happening around you.
And that is that. Just so everybody knows, that's at every stage in your career. It's the same thing every single day. I have to check my mindset, right? And he also said that if you had a great year last year and decide not to change, and inflation keeps increasing, you're going to still need to grow in order to maintain. So I thought that was a really, really fascinating point on growth. So it was an awesome meeting yesterday. Hope everybody got some takeaways from it. All right, we're talking about Shift, and we're in all things creative financing. So please do not hang up the call. I know we've talked about seller buy downs, but I want to hit on a few points before I go to owner financing. He talks in this section about seller buy downs. I want to make sure everybody understands what the differences are. Permanent buy down is going to be over the life of the life of the loan. A temporary buy down is typically for the first few years. So understand there's differences with the buy down. I am going to go over this example again. He actually reads it in the book. He says, hold on, let me get back over here. Sorry, guys. and get back. I don't know what this is doing. Go away. Go away. All right. He actually references this example in the book. He's like, hey, if you buy down a rate, if the seller offers buy down for 2 points on a 250,000 sales priced home, and I put a 10% down payment, so the buyer's putting 10% down. I'm saying the current interest rate is 6% currently. They are asking for a $10,000 price reduction. The buyer's asking for the seller to pay 2 points down. Essentially, what that's going to get you, and what he notes in the book, is around 30,000 interest saved over the life of the loan. And when I said yesterday, if we're going to be wealth advisors, we have to understand the inner workings of the financials of a deal, right? And so get with your local lender on this, but I want you to understand some key points. Number one, if we went all things considering all in with, say, the sales price is being offered at 250, we do not ask for any price reductions. We do not ask for any concessions to be paid. Essentially, this is what we're looking at a monthly payment. So understanding what their loan estimates are important, you guys. So y'all understand what we're doing or helping guide them to do to either save money up front, i.e. bringing money to the table for their down payment, or saving on their monthly payment, or saving over the life of the loan, or if you're a heavy hitter negotiator, saving them in all three. So this is where this comes into play. So say we're asking for them to take $10,000 off the offer price, meaning my buyer's loan amount now is reduced to $216, which means that would affect my monthly rate here, which brings that down to about $1,700. And that also means we were able to save the buyer about $60 a month, which overall, we're saving them essentially almost $11,500 over the life of the loan. But this is where it gets fun. Over here with the buy down, if the seller is offering a $250,000 home for sale, I don't ask for a price reduction. However, I do ask for them to buy down 2 points. My loan amount, because I'm putting 10% down, is now $225,000. My interest rate now went from 6% to 5.5%. Now my monthly payment is $1,700, which means on a monthly basis, $75 a month. May not sound like a lot, but to me, $75 a month, I'll take it. And then that gives me, over the life of the loan, $28,500 essentially that I'm saving. So he references this in the book, but I want y'all to understand, we're not just negotiating closing costs and sales price here. Like, we're negotiating all of the components of the deal. You're negotiating title fee, like title with who's paying what. I understand that everybody says we have a standard in town. I don't care about a standard in town. You can negotiate whatever benefits your seller or whatever benefits your buyer. You can negotiate buy downs, right? You can negotiate off the list price of the home. You know, there's so many different components to this that I want y'all to understand. And you can also do make sure that you're saving them not only upfront, you're saving them monthly and their mortgage monthly payment, and then you're saving them over the life of the loan. Those of you that understand this at a very high level are going to be ones that are going to be able to negotiate better, either on behalf of your seller or your buyer. And I love this, what he says. He talks about marketing this, because I've talked about this a lot. It says marketing the buy down can be tricky. Do you market it as an interest rate buy down or on the total savings over the life of the loan? He says it's your call. A word of caution, if you're going to market it, bring in a loan officer professional to help you market it and help you create the correct numbers and accurate numbers, and have them help you and assist you with marketing it. So all that to say is, I just want to make sure y'all understand, when you're negotiating, you're not just negotiating off the sales price. Like, you've got to make sure you're looking at all of the different components of the deal and all the different clauses and how they are worded in the offer. Which also brings me to another point. If you have not read every single Mississippi form available and every single TAR form available, this is your sign to print them all off, put them in a binder, and go line by line. If you do not understand it, you need to highlight it, and then you need to go ask somebody to explain it that is either a broker or an attorney. I told another agent this the other day. If y'all want to be skilled professionals, if you understand clauses that are written in these pre-filled forms, right? If they're already pre-written, if you understand these clauses, y'all, those same clauses show up in business acquisition and any other type of owner financing. They're going to continue to show up, so you need to understand them. So I'd encourage you to start there. Act like it's a book, read the line, highlight it if you don't understand it, go find a broker or an attorney that can explain it to you. You've got to take a proactive approach to that. All right, and then I want to talk really quickly. I'm not going to hit on the deep dive of seller financing. I am going to try to access, or I'm sorry, of owner financing. I am going to try to access an owner financing contract or a form, pre-filled form, so that we can start diving in that together so that I could help y'all better understand owner financing. Anybody on this call done put together an owner financing deal before? Okay. I think a lot of that is because we don't, did somebody hit in the chat that they did, Linda? I can't tell.
Yes, Courtney said she has.
Courtney?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had like an attorney draw it up, but it never worked out.
I
So,
have offered, but it was not accepted.
okay. Um, so understanding the components of this matters, right? And providing a solution. It may or may not work. However, I had somebody ask me this yesterday when I was lead generating if there were any sellers willing to owner finance. Well, that's a great question. I don't know. But what I can go do is go find a bunch of sellers that have a lot of equity in their house, because if they have a lot of equity and their desire to move is great, then they may be willing to seller finance with the right terms, right? And so then it allows me to make calls to the agents or anyone that has a lot of equity in their house and see if they're interested in unloading their property for this buyer. But I think a couple of things y'all have to understand in seller financing that needs to line up. High equity needs to be at play. So the seller needs to have a large amount of equity. Typically, buyers are wanting this. Why do you think buyers want owner financing? I'm going to ask y'all that question.
Because they possibly can get pre-approved traditionally through a
Correct.
bank.
So they may have unverified income. So they may be salespeople that need 2 to 3 years of verified income. They may have some credit opportunities, right? And you can marry the two. The seller may want to move, and the seller may be willing to use their property as collateral, right? And they may be willing to obviously charge a higher interest on that property. So they're making money off of their property and getting to where they want to go. And then you got a buyer that wants to access that property but can't, and the traditional way. And so let's get creative and let's marry the two and put those two together. So all that to say is, I think it is important. I put over here on my notes, I put high equity seller plus buyer with difficulty getting traditional financing, but truly desires to make a purchase, and a seller truly desires to sell equals seller financing. Buyer may be willing to pay a higher rate. Most of the time they are in order to do so. So I'm going to read this last little bit, and I do think us reading a seller financing, owner financing agreement would help us all to understand this better. But it says it says at any time any sales professional worth their salt. So just so you know, we all should know how to do this. Could structure a seller owner finance contract. The key is to make sure the sellers execute their proper due diligence. For various reasons, many potential buyers suffer from less than perfect credit. The seller simply has to determine the facts on why their credit suffered and are they willing to help build their credit. Others may have unverified income for a professional business that isn't established enough to count towards a conventional loan. It says the sellers can benefit in this as well. Not only can they sell their current home and literally move on with their lives, but they can also earn a solid return on their loan. Most private loans carry higher interest rates to offset the risk, and if the seller thinks they will need more money in a few years, they can require that the buyer refinance the loan to pay off the seller's note. A good deal structured around a 1, 2, or 3 balloon mortgage will get the buyers in, earn the sellers extra income, and facilitate the buyers eventually qualifying for a conventional loan. Pretty convoluted. I know it's extensive, and we're going to learn and build this together because y'all need to understand this inside and out. This is what I was saying yesterday. This is the inner workings of the deal that I want y'all to learn from. Some of you that are new on the call, please do not exit these calls because it seems extensive and convoluted. The more you listen, even if you don't know some of the words that are coming out of my mouth, the better off you'll be in 6 months to 9 months to a year from now. Things you'll start picking up on things. So please continue to come. Any other thoughts around this? Anybody else have anything else before I wrap up? This great nuggets of info, trying to catch it all. Yeah, there's a lot of info. We're going to keep revisiting it. So I just want everybody to know that buy downs is something that y'all really need to get with your lenders about, as well as I'm working on net sheets for Mississippi, just so everybody knows that. Also need to get with an attorney on that. But tomorrow I think we're going to look at RPR and cloud CMAs so that y'all can see where to access those net sheets in Mississippi. So a lot of nuggets coming on these calls, and I'm going to continue to try to chunk this down. Let me know if you have any questions, if I can do anything for you. Make it a good one. Everybody make it count. Bye, y'all. Have a good one. Blessed day. Bye.